All together now. Mortal Kombat! Which is what we're going to be talking about on today's episode of the Goggler Podcast. Ian, Bahir, and Uma with you. We're going to be talking about Mortal Kombat, of course, which just dropped in cinemas in Malaysia. The movie does lean into the lore a lot. Like, it's actually quite true to the lore of the games with all the realms that they're talking about. I mean, they only mentioned 3 realms. I think there are 16. All of these things are name dropped, so there's tons of fan service for everyone.
They didn't try to make a version of Mortal Kombat for the movie, right?
Correct.
They used the game's backstory, lore, tradition, history, and made that into this movie. Also, it's self-aware without being cheesy, without being wink, wink, nod, nod.
Yeah, without taking the piss out of itself.
Yes, yeah. The way they've, in air quotes, selected the warriors, I think is quite cool. I think there's an interesting bit of world building there, right? So it's not just anybody who gets those things.
You say there was world building, and there was world building in the sense
there's enough world building.
Well,
I won't say there's world building.
There's enough world building for a movie like this, where the director and the writers are aware enough to know that you can mention things as throwaway comments because it doesn't really fucking matter because people aren't there to see that.
Yes.
So you can just say, oh, look, this is the mark. This is how it gets transferred. Who cares? It looks like an awesome dragon.
Because this is technically a prequel because you never actually get to the tournament. It's only at that time, like, we're going to fight them one by one in a series of battles, but it's not a tournament.
What you said in your review was right. In the sense that there is no way any movie like this will ever be a Citizen Kane, but at the same time, it can be a Citizen Kane of fighting movies because people have made some really shitty fighting movies, and this one actually works really well.
I was not expecting to enjoy Mortal Kombat this much.
Same. I think I really enjoyed this movie. I liked what the director did with regards to keeping it a video game film. Get over here! You can catch this in cinemas. It's showing right now. And if you're a Mortal Kombat fan, I think this is the reboot that you've been waiting for. And if you watch this just because you're looking for something to watch in cinema, get in touch and let us know what you think. Because there's a lot of jargon and gobbledygook and nonsense that these characters spout. And I'm curious as to whether any of that matters to you while you're watching a movie like this.
It mattered to me. I was happy as a pig and shit watching it. He did the face melty thing. That's awesome.
You can reach out to us on all of our social media channels, GogglerMY. You can email us on podcast@goggler.my. Don't forget, if you're listening to this on a podcast app, rate us, like us, leave a comment, tell your friends, tell your family. Don't forget to check out our Ending Explained article and review on goggler.my. You've been listening to the Goggler Podcast.